Good morning, good day, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you're at, whenever you're watching this video. Hey, thanks for joining in. I'm doing something I haven't done yet, not to this extreme, but I'm curious about is I'm going to do a comparison video. I've got half a box right here, right now, that I've collected of customer wrapped dimes. I'm going to start on these, but I am going to do 50 rolls of customer wrapped, and then I'm going to get a bank box of bank wrapped and do 50 rolls or a box of bank wrapped dimes. And I just want to see how they compare, if there's any better finds in customer versus bank. So I will, like I did before, and I'll bring you in, is I'll put them in trays like this every 10, and I'll weigh those 10 out, low to high weight wise, and we'll get into rolling them. Main things we're looking for, of course, are silvers. We're also going to look for any proofs, the West Point, or any known varieties along the way. So give me a second to get this set up, and I will bring you in for the first couple openings. All right, folks, I got this all set up now. I did weigh it, so we do have 114.19. And with these wraps, it's around 114. This has got 117 on the nose there. So I'm betting, or I'm going to guess, that there's extra coinage in this one for being 117, but normally it's right around 114, so 1.47. So that's weighing a little bit heavy, or at zero point 0.7, zero point 0.5. Those are insignificant amounts, so it's usually right around 114 for a standard roll of dimes that I look at. So again, we'll take and do a couple of these with you. We'll take the light one. Again, that's going to be I call it the average one. Customer wrap. Let's see what we have in here. Maybe, if it wants to come out. There we go. And those are looking pretty well loved in that they are just dirty edges. This is why we wash our hands frequently. That's why they were hard getting out of there. So that's looking all clad. This edge looks a little interesting, just probably well worn. Yeah, that's a 1967. All right, so that was the light one. Let's take a look at this. Was the one with 117. So like I said, I'm betting there's going to be an extra dime in this one. See, that came out so much nicer. Oh, all these sturdy edges. I mean, look at that. I don't even know what to expect on that one. Where was that? That looks like battery acid, corrosion. That thing, who knows where that one's been. But ooh, that's got an interesting edge there for being dirty. Let's take a look there. And look at that. Look at that. That's got a mint mark on the back. So for the mint marks on the back, that is a Denver mint mark. We know that is silver. As dirty as that is a 1964. Let me turn on my scope here. My eyes just aren't that good with these things. Dimes are so small. It's why I don't like hunting dimes. Yep, 1964 Denver silver. So first silver on the board. See if there's anything else of interest in here. Edgewise, let's see this corroded one again. No, not that one. Let's take a look at this one. Put that underneath the scope, and yeah, I can't even make out a date on that. Barely make out Liberty on that, so who knows what that one is. This has got an interesting edge. No mint mark on the back there. It's like stuck in Play-Doh or something here, and that's a 1966, so that is not silver. So yeah, that was a bonus. Not only did we get a bonus silver in that roll, but we also had a bonus dime in that roll. So now that's going to get me curious here. Let's take this other one, 114.5, I believe. So this one's a little bit heavy. See how lucky we are here. And edge check. Nope. Just dirty corroded. This is what the dangers of hunting customer wrapped rolls. You just never know what you're going to get. So yep, so that's just probably going to be heavy due to all of the corrosion, dirt, and grime on here. All right, so I'm going to go through just a little bit quicker and a little more detailed, make sure I don't miss anything. We are looking for, obviously, the silvers, the proofs, and great errors. I stopped looking at the 6970 change in reverse patterns. So we're just we're just going to look up for proofs and silvers, and I'll bring you back in for the find. But we do have that one 1964. I might try scraping some of that junk off of it. 1964 Denver silver, and that was what, roll number 2 or 1 in this hunt. Bring you in for finds along the way. Here we are at the end of the first 10 rolls, and everything we found was in those first 2 rolls. Well, first roll, we do have here a, zoom in here, note that mint mark there in the bottom corner. That is a Denver mint, so that is our 1964, a little bit on the dirty side. Go this way there, see if that makes it a little better. But 1964 Denver, that is a silver find, and we did have that one roll with the silver that also had an extra dime. That was that heavy roll we looked at. So I got our next 10 rolls here, and I did the same thing. Let's see if I can bring that down so you can see that okay. We've got laid it out lightest to heaviest. The light one, again, is weighing in at 111. See if I can move that. There you go. 111.59. That's extremely light, so that's going to be missing a dime or two. And if we look at the heavier one, that's weighing in at 115. So that's probably got an extra dime in that one. And then this one, of course, has the heavy wrapper at 114.6, which is a little bit heavier, about a half a gram heavier than normal, even with that wrapper. So we're going to take a look at these 3. Let's first take a look at our short roll, as I'll call it. Let's see how many we are missing here. At least these are looking cleaner. That first group was really dirty in form of coins. I swear all the coins were found in parking lots. So it's looking all clad. I'm just going to do a count here. Yep, that's missing 1 dime short in that roll. All right, so let's take a look at the heaviest of them, even with the thinner wrapping. So this one I'm betting's got an extra dime in there. So let's take a look. Edge check first. silver. And I called it. That one had an extra one. So at least we didn't lose any money. That gives us those two rolls all clad. Rolls 11 through 20 had nothing. Just like I showed you at the beginning. We had the one extra in the one short in the lighter one. This roll, or these tens, we're seeing the same thing. And hopefully you could see that on these two ends. I'm going to do these. I went to a bank. I was too short to get my full box, and she gave me these two. And I was walking out of the bank, and I was just feeling and playing. I'm like, this just feels off. You get used to, if you handle enough rolls, you get used to saying, that just feels short. And I went in, turned around, went back into the bank and said, look at these two rolls you gave me. And she even looked at that. And I said, I handled enough of the coins. I think you've shorted me coins out of these two rolls. And so I started unwrapping them and opened them up, and right there for her, this one was 90 cents, 9 coins short. This one was 6 coins short. So we were short $1.50 between 15 dimes between these two rolls. Look at that. You can just see the difference. So it's important, get your feel and double check. If it's 1, 2 coins here, I usually don't worry about, but $1.50. I was hoping she'd give me new rolls, but she ended up just giving me $1.50 cash to offset the shortage there. So we know I'm going to be short there. I'm not going to weigh those. All right, rolls 21 through 30 only had one find in there, and that is our foreign Canadian, and that is 1990. So nothing spectacular there, just a standard Canadian find in those rolls. Our other rolls now, what is that, 31 through 40 here. These are interesting rolls. Again, we see that R on a couple of these, so that's probably Mr. R, I call him, so those are circulated. But this one here, let's see if we can move that down, is weighing at 112.21. So 112 is significantly short, especially with a heavier wrapper. So Mr. R probably shorted us a dime there. But then this side roll, we're at 116 on a thin roll. So that's almost 2 grams heavier. So this one might have an extra. Roll number 46. And let's take a look at that a little bit closer. Do you see that? That is the edge we're wanting to see. Let's see if there's anything else here. Look. Nope. That is it. Clad, clad, clad. That's a lot of reflection here. I have to work on my lighting. Let's take a look at that one right there. What do we have? 1962. Pretty good condition. And is there a mint mark? No mint mark. So that is a 1962 Philadelphia, and that is silver. That is our second find for this box of customer wrapped rolls. Bring in for the next find. Right, here we are. Summary of 31 through 40. We did have this one dime, and that is a, focus, 1962 Philadelphia. So that is a silver dime found, second of the box. And we did have 2 extra in that one of those rolls. So we did have a couple extra regular style dimes in the rows. So here are the last 10 rolls. Didn't weigh these out. Well, I did weigh them out. Light to heavy. I didn't add these. These are those 4 initialed rolls. These are the ones I believe. R is a coin roll hunter, and those have been searched. I am curious on this one just because it is so beat up here and at that end there. This is probably telling me this is probably another searched roll. People reusing wrappers is just beat up, so we will look at that one. And then if you look at these, this one barely fits in the tray, height wise. So this one's going to have a couple extra dimes in it. Let's start with this one and just see what is in here. I doubt that silver. I think it's just going to have extra dimes. Right, so sorry it took so long counting those. I had to triple check on that because that just seemed a bit much. But look at that, that had 6 extra dimes in it, so yay for that one. That one was plus 60 cents. That makes 80 so far for the box, if I remember right. Now, right, here's the final of the 1 box of customer wrapped 50 rolls of dimes. We only had 4 finds. Had a pretty well balanced extra short dimes within there. It all worked out in the end. But of our finds, we had a nice looking Canadian dime, and that is 1990. So not bad. This one threw me for a loop. This is a first find for me. We do have a Balboa Panama dime, un decimo di Balboa. So 1/10 of a Balboa. Love the little conquistador on the front there. Look at the reverse. Flip the wrong way. This is a modern 2008 Republica de Panama. So Panamanian coin. But when you looked at the edge there, it's got a clad layer and very similar reading to a US coin. So that threw me for a loop. I didn't catch that by the edge, unlike the Canadian, who's all silver. That's got that little clad layer. So that was a deceptive but a fun find nonetheless. We did find 2 silvers. We've got a 1962, nice looking silver there. That is of the Philadelphia Mint, 1962 Philly. And we have the Common Dirty, 1964. And that does have the Denver Mint. So 2 silvers, 50 rolls, not too bad. But what makes it a bonus, flip all my pages here, is that 1962, I've started a book of Roosevelt silvers, and look at that. Boom, that is a book filler for me. So 1962 Philly in place for my silver Roosevelt collection. Many more to go. That's a new collection for me. Thanks for joining in. I think I'm going to end the video here. I just got a feeling editing it down is going to take a longer video than what I initially thought. I'll see if I can consolidate it down, and this will be a good comparison. I've got a box of dimes on order from the bank, so we'll go through a box of 50 bank-wrapped rolls coming soon. So I was going to try putting those side by side. We'll see how my editing skills are. I'm still trying to figure out how to get those narrowed down and make these videos a little more time efficient. leave those comments below. Let me know what you think as to what you would like to see in these videos. If you'd like to see me unwrapping more of those, if you'd like to see just the highlights, reel of it, always looking for feedback. And so remember, if you haven't already, press that thumbs up button. Give me a little subscription there. It costs nothing to subscribe. Just work those Google algorithms there, and I do appreciate all that support with those thumbs ups and those subscriptions. And until the next video, guys, have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and happy hunting.